Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it seems to me that the Prime Minister is looking really very handsome today. I would like to know if the Prime Minister agrees with me that he's very lovely. Mr. Speaker, I see that once again the Prime Minister is shamelessly speaking his words. I would like to know, Mr. Speaker, if the Prime Minister knows that he looks, sounds and smells like a big toilet. Mr. Speaker, is the Prime Minister aware that, as a result of me being able to ask him this question, I've got an erection? The Prime Minister claims that he is working for the interests of the British people. If that is true, then why is he such a prick? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Prime Minister's radiance is blinding. Blinding. Would he mind if I just bathe in it? Just sit here bathing in his glory and his radiance? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Has the Prime Minister ever considered digging a really big, deep hole and then just sitting in it? Just sitting in his hole forever? Mr. Speaker, I see that a new report about the police has been released. Would the Prime Minister agree with me that everything he does is magic? Because that's a song by the police. The Prime Minister walks about going, I'm the Prime Minister, I'm the Prime Minister. Does he agree with me? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bet that the Prime Minister looks amazing with no clothes on. If I close my eyes now, I can imagine him with nothing on, naked and proud. Would the Prime Minister agree that he looks magnificent naked? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is the Prime Minister aware that everyone calls him Prime Cockingster because he's such a cock? Mr. Speaker, like many of my colleagues, not many girls fancy me, but I bet all the girls fancy the Prime Minister. Would the Prime Minister be able to give us all tips on how to get the girls to fancy us? Mr. Speaker, I bet that the Prime Minister has never ever heard of all the cool pop groups like Coldplay and Radiohead. Can I ask, Mr. Speaker, was the last album the Prime Minister bought by the Bay City Rollers or the Spice Girls? Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is really good at everything. Has he ever tried playing football? Because I think he'd be amazing at it and get loads and loads of goals. Mr. Speaker, is it true that the Prime Minister is a fanny? Mr. Speaker, would the Prime Minister like to do it with me right now, right here on the floor, because I bloody would?